In this video, I'm going to be talking about how to overseed by hand this small little lawn. We're also going to be doing it with absolutely minimal tools, and just to show you that you can get good results on small areas without all the high-tech equipment. This video is sponsored by Skillshare. I'll give you a little bit more on what Skillshare is coming up in the later part of the video, but for now, let's get stuck into the video. So this is a lawn that I recently just scarified, and I'll leave a link to that video in the card above if you wanted to check that out. And after scarification is an ideal time to overseed the lawn. You can see the scarification has ripped up any of the thatch that was still there, and it's opened up the soil bed where it was particularly thin. This is really important, that when you put seed down, you get a great seed to soil contact. This is going to help the grass plant grow, because if you think about it, the seed wants to be in the ground in order for it to grow, so it needs to be in contact with the soil. The first step is going to be how much seed that you need to cover the whole area. Now generally, most manufacturers recommend somewhere between 35 and maybe up to 70 grams per square metre. With the higher rates, that's typically for when you're seeding a lawn completely from scratch. So a more typical overseeding rate is something around 35 grams per square metre of lawn. I know that this lawn is 35 square metres. So here's how we're going to work out how much seed we're going to use. That's 35 metres squared times by 35 grams gives us 1.25 kg roughly. So I know that I'm going to need roughly 1.25 kilograms of seed in order to fully cover this area. So now we've calculated how much seed we're going to need, we're going to weigh that out, and I'm going to show you how to evenly spread it on your lawn using nothing more than your hands. In terms of tool for this job, I've literally just got a bag of seed, and this is a full ryegrass mix, and if you're interested in seeds, I've left a link for some seeds in my description section below. And I've got some builder's line or string. Just got some kitchen scales which I'll lay out on the flat surface. I'm going to zero the scales, and I can put the bag into this just to see. So in here we've got 1.938 grams, which is just under 2 kilos. So I've got more than enough seed that I need to complete this job. In fact, a little bit more. One of the things I also like to do is to save a little bit of seed back. Don't put the whole bag down. So what I'm probably going to do with this mix is put my 1.2 kilos down, save the 500 grams that I've got left. And what that allows you to do is a little trick that, because it's a natural product, sometimes it's very dependent on the weather and also other factors as well, like for example the birds and other wildlife and rain, wash off, etc. So I like to keep a little bit back, and then what I can do is after a week or two I can keep my eyes out and maybe go over and overseed some of the patches that I hadn't taken. Generally, when you're buying good quality grass seed, you should expect high percentages of germination, but there's always a chance of the weather and nature doing its course that you can just save a little bit back, just so that you've got that backup option to complete your project if you really need to. So I've got my bag of seed, which I know that I've got enough and actually a little bit too much, and I've actually brought some builder's lime with me. Now, you don't need this tool to complete the job. You can just sprinkle it by eye, but if it's the first time doing it, sometimes it can be helpful to sort of mark out a little bit of a grid across the garden and divide the seed up into those patches so you don't over apply it and run out. And what I mean by this is, if we know that we need 1.2 kilos for a section like this, I could run a line down the middle of the garden and split my seed up into two 600 gram batches. I can put 600 grams down on the first half and then a second batch of 600 grams on the second half, and it allows you to get a little bit more control of how you're applying the seed. As you get used to doing this, you'll get a feel for how much needs to go down, and if you're always in doubt, one safe way is just put a little bit down and you can repeat the passes in multiple directions till you've used up what you needed to use. So I can see here, I've just run the line from one side of the garden to the other. which is roughly halfway, and that means I can split my batches from the seed into two 600 gram sections and I'll be ready to go. I'll put it a little bit over to the left because there's some cut out sections there and there, but we're going to be fine, and let's get focused on putting the seed down. In terms of broadcasting the seed, I'm literally just going to take a handful of the seed mix and almost throw it down onto the floor in a sprinkling motion like this. One of the things I forgot to mention was you don't have to just split your lawn in half. If you really want to get an exact number, you can really calculate this out. I've been used to doing this on a number of occasions, so it's a bit of a second nature to me, but if you really want to be exact, you can get your exact number of grams and you can split this up into a grid pattern. So you can put some string going this way and make them up into little squares, and it's really up to you how much you divide your lawn into small sections to get the exact number of seeds that you need in each little square. So if you wanted to put it into quarters, you could do that again, put a line across the middle that way, and then put the seed down in 300 grams in each of the different sections. Skillshare is an online learning platform and there's hundreds of different classes on there. Last month I watched a course on video editing, and this month I watched a course from Aaron Draplin about logo design because I'm looking to create a new logo for my business. You can find all the information you need on a specific topic in one place from the same person with no adverts. Membership costs as little as $10 a month. I've teamed up with Skillshare to bring the first 1,000 viewers of my channel a link for a free premium membership trial, which they can access by clicking the link below. Okay, so now the seed's down, I'm quite happy with the coverage. The last part is really important and often overlooked by a lot of people, which is going to be around treading or rolling the seed down into the canopy. Just to help me, I'm going to use a standard garden rake, and what I'm going to do is run this on its back like this across the surface of the lawn, just to agitate those blades of grass and let that seed drop down onto the soil. You can use a roller if you've got a lawn roller. You can use the back of a lawnmower with a roller on if you've got that. And if you don't, you can just walk up and down the area and press that seed into the soil surface. It's really important to have seed to soil contact. The last tip that I've got for you is around the weather. It's really important to keep new seeds moist during its germination. If you can time it so there's some rain coming, or keep on top of your watering a couple of times a day just to keep that seed moist during its germination period. So let's get on and I'll show you what I do with this. You can also cover the lawn with a bit of top dressing or soil just to help that seed to soil contact, and that's going to help keep the seeds moist during the germination period. I'm paying particular attention to any little ball patches that I've got, and you can see that seed is nicely in contact with the soil and dropping into any of those patches that I just want to get seeded up. In the next video I'm going to be covering the seeds with this really fine and light soil top dressing. If you're interested in how I top dress the lawn and how you can do that with a range of different tools, then please subscribe to my video and I'll leave a link in the card at the end of this video.